Hello everyone, it's Mark Berger again, the founder and executive director of the East Denver Origami Society, with another episode in the series, Things to Do Inside When There's a Pandemic Outside. And today, Sue and I are at Snooze. We're folding a bit of paper, and I thought I'd like to show you a model of the Emperor and the Empress. They're known as Hina dolls, and they're a traditional Japanese figure, not necessarily origami. It could be other kinds of dolls, but they're used in celebration of a Japanese holiday known as Hina Matsuri, which loosely means Doll's Day or particularly Girls' Day. Now, Japan traditionally has 5 holidays, and it's very interesting how they're laid out. Girls' Day happens to fall, not the emperor, but the holiday, happens to fall on March 3rd. The third month, the third day. The next holiday is May 5th, the 5th month and the 5th day. Can you guess when the next holiday is, Sue?
I would think it would be the 7th month and the 7th day.
Yes, July 7th, and so on. So, in order to make the Emperor and the Empress, you're going to need the paper that you will have, I hope, received in the mail. And it consists of a piece of gold paper, a piece of red paper, and 2 sheets of black paper with white on the other side. And if you don't happen to have this paper, or if you'd like to practice on some other paper, which I highly recommend, I filled up a whole basket full of Emperor and Empress dolls just so that I can get it right. So make sure whatever you have the sheets of paper all the same size. And in the following videos, I'm going to show you how to fold them. First, by folding the Emperor's robe, the Empress's robe, and then each of the basic figures. So, I hope you enjoy it, and please write to me if you have any questions. Hello everyone. In this part of the Hina dolls, I'm going to show you how to make the robes, particularly for the Emperor. And to make the Emperor, you're going to want to use your gold sheet of paper. And why gold? Gold is the color used for the Emperor. It shows wealth, and that he's the alpha male of the group. So here's your gold piece of paper, and you're going to lay it color side down on the table. And then I'm filming this as you would be folding it. So as you know, as usual, I'm going to fold it upside down. So the first thing we're going to do is make a diagonal fold going from the upper right corner to the lower left. Like so. And we're going to open it up. And now we're going to make a vertical book fold. And we're going to open up that. And now we're going to take the bottom right corner and we're going to fold that so that it's right up against your diagonal crease. Like so. And then we're going to take the upper right corner and fold it to this new corner on the bottom right. Like that. And then we're going to pull out the bottom flap, and this is something you might have seen before. Sue, do you know, have any idea what this is?
No.
No. Well, if you've taken my rectangles class, you may remember that we ended up making a rectangle of this proportion. This proportion is of 1 to the square root of 2, which is the A4 paper. It's the A series paper. That's just an aside. So here's your paper so far, and now we're going to take the bottom edge, all the white area, and we're going to fold it behind. Like so. Here's the back, here's the front. Your model looks like this. And now we're going to take the bottom part, just the 2 top layers, and we're going to fold the side down to meet the bottom. We're going to do that on both sides. And now we're going to do the inside reverse fold for both of them. So it looks like that. And now we're going to take the top flap and fold it over at that vertical line. And our model so far looks like this. And by the way, we're going to use the same technique for the Empress's robe in red. So you can fold both the same way up until this point, and then they start to get a little different. So we're going to finish the Emperor now by taking this, and we're going to turn it over, and we're going to fold this top down to the edge of this paper down here. And that's our model so far. And then in addition to that, we're going to fold the right side over, and we're going to fold it against that line that we just made. Okay? So there's the vertical flap, the side flap, and here's where we have that crease. We're going to do the same thing on the other half. So this is now our model so far. We have these 2 square flaps. And now we're going to treat both sides the same way. I'll do one side first, then the other. So going from the right side, we want to make a diagonal crease like this. So we're going to take the bottom left corner and fold it against that vertical line up to the top. Okay? Then what we want to do is unfold it, and then we want to, now, and this is a little tricky, but we want to take this flap, and we're going to take this edge, and we're going to fold it so it goes along this diagonal line, like so. Did you get a good view of that, Sue?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I hope so. Yeah, I think so.
Okay, well so we have the diagonal, the 45-degree line, and then we're going to fold this vertical line over at the angle to match the diagonal. Now once we do that, it's a little tricky, but you can do it. So we have all these layers of paper. What we want to do is just grab this top layer, actually it's 2 layers, but we want to gently pull it out, and we want to lay the flap down very carefully. And you want to exercise care in doing this, because I found when I practice a lot, I tore the paper. So you've been warned. Okay, so that's one side, and now we're going to do the left side. So as before, we're going to take the square. Hi. Oh, thank you. Okay, so we take the square, we make the diagonal crease, we take the flap, we hold it back, and we make that wedge-shaped fold like that. So we've done the same thing on the right side and the left side. And now we're going to open this up so that the model looks like this. And now we're going to take this new right side and we're going to fold this edge to that edge. Just like that. And we're going to do the same on the other side. Okay. And now we want to fold back the 2 flaps. And what we want to do is one side is different than the other. What's going on?
Should I stop?
We're going to cut it here, and I'll paste in the... What is going on? Welcome back. Sorry, there's a little mix-up because the instructor forgot a step. This side, I did perfectly fine. This side, do you know what I didn't do? I forgot to pull the paper out. So we're going to pull out the bottom of the paper, and we have that wedge, okay? Then we open it up, and then we fold this in half, okay? And now we fold this flap over. Now you notice this edge here and this edge here, that's going to be the front connection between the left and right part of the row. So we're going to take one flap and we're going to tuck it into the other. Now you'll notice that the joint doesn't meet quite as I'd like it to be. So what I'm going to do is adjust them a little so that that joint meets, and then I'm going to go through it and go over the creases. Some of them moved or crept a little, so now we have a perfect front. And now to finish the Emperor, we're going to flip the model over, and we're going to fold one flap over like so. So you notice this horizontal line stays horizontal on both sides. like that. And now we're going to do a squash fold, much like we do when we make a preliminary base. Don't get excited. So we're going to lift it up like this. We're going to put our finger into that flap, and we're going to squash. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. And now we're going to flip it back over to the front, and we're going to take this edge and we're going to fold it to match this edge, like so. And when you do that, make sure that you let this little part flip over to the front. So we get it on one side and we do it on the other side. And all that's left now is to flip it over and take these flaps on the side and carefully fold them flat up against the back. So that's the back, and here's the front. And that's the completed Emperor robe. And in the next video, we're going to make the Empress's robe, and hopefully the instructor will have the technique. Hello everyone, welcome back. In this film, we're going to make the robe for the Empress. And to do that, we're going to use the red paper that you will have received, because the Empress usually has some kind of floral decorated robe, like a rose color. But since I really haven't found a nice origami paper pattern to fit the scale of the model we're making, I decided to go with solid riff. And we're going to start out making the robe exactly like we made the Emperor's robe. So we're going to start with the color side down. We're going to go from the upper right corner to the lower left corner with a diagonal. We're going to open that up, and now we're going to do a book fold vertically. Like so. And then we're going to open it. And now we're going to take the bottom edge, starting with the bottom right corner, and we're going to fold that to the diagonal line we just made. Okay. And now we're going to take the upper right corner and fold it down to the new lower right corner. And now we're going to unfold that diagonal flap. And now we're going to then take the bottom, the white part, and we're going to fold it neatly behind so that the bottom edge is lined up. And now, just like we did with the Emperor, we're going to take the upper right corner of this front flap, and we're going to fold 2 layers at a time diagonally. And now we're going to take them and we're going to make this an inside reverse crease. And then we're going to find the vertical crease underneath and fold the flap over one side and then over to the other side. This is the exact procedure we did for the what?
The Emperor.
The Emperor, thank you. Now here's where it gets a little different. Now we're going to take the bottom left and right corners and we're going to fold them up like this. And we do that on each side. So we have white showing here. And now we're going to take this edge and fold it to that new side of the model. So we took this, folded it to here. Now we're going to take this and we're going to fold it to here. Like so. Now, do you see the edge of the paper right here and here? Can you see that? Okay, so now we're going to make the collar of the Empress's robe. And we're going to take this top surface, top edge, and we're going to carefully fold it to meet those creases that I had just pointed out to you earlier. So you'll notice if we opened it up, that crease is just a little bit above the edge of the flat. Okay? We're going to keep that open for now. And now we're going to, the next step is going to involve making a little pinch on either side. But to do that, you'll need to unfold the left and the right side. And now we're going to take one edge at a time and fold it to the center. Just like so. And it doesn't have to be a hard crease. You just want to be able to know where that quarter of the model is. Okay, so now using the new creases as a guide, we're going to fold the upper corners down to match that crease we just made. Like so. And then we're going to take the front flap, lift it up, and put the white corners underneath it. We're also going to open it up and put the top flap. So now you can see the white collar of the Empress's robe. And now we're going to flip the model over. And then, may I point out here, here's the vertical middle of the model. And you see this diagonal crease we made quite a while ago? Well, we're going to fold the bottom left and the bottom right corners to this intersection point, like this. Now it's important to notice that when you do make that crease, you're going to have a little bunch of paper at the end. That's normal, don't worry about it. Another thing to notice is that this edge that we make is going to be parallel with the edge below it. So this is what we have so far. Okay, so we folded the corners to that midpoint. So on the front side, it looks like this. or on the back side it looks like this. So now we're going to find that crease that we had made not too long ago, here and here, and we're going to fold the paper, letting this flap go forward, and we're going to fold it along that crease, like so. Like that, and like that. Now you might not want to make these creases sharp until, as we did with the Emperor's robe, we tuck one side into the other, and then we're going to lay it down flat, making sure that the sides meet, and then we're going to go ahead and make the finished creases on either side. And now all that's left to do is to take the top edge and fold it to meet this crease, like this. And like this. And now we're going to take these 2 points that are hanging down, and we're going to fold them so that the bottom corner meets the top corner. And we're going to do it on both sides. And then once we've done that, we're going to unfold them, and we're going to do another inside reverse crease, like this. And remember, it opens from the side, and like that. And that is the Empress's robe complete. Hello everyone, again. This time we're going, since we've completed the Emperor's robe and the Empress's robe, now we're going to make the actual figures that we're going to tuck inside those robes. And both the Emperor and the Empress start out the same way in what I call the basic model. This is the front and this is the back, and the only difference between the two is the hairstyle that we're going to make behind. But first I'm going to show you how to make the basic model itself. So we'll have two models. One will make the Emperor, the other the Empress. So you'll find in your packet that there were two pieces of black paper. It's black on one side, white on the other. Very important that you have a different color on that side. Okay, so we're going to start out like before. We're going to make a diagonal crease from the upper right corner to the lower left.
Yes. I had a question about
You'll notice we did not need to have a vertical crease here, but we're going to take the bottom edge with the lower right corner, and we're going to fold that. And the only reason why we folded that is to get this point, this corner point. So we're going to take, I'm now going to call this the top, and here's the top point, and we're going to fold it carefully to that corner. And now we can unfold this, and then we're going to take the bottom corner and we're going to very carefully fold it to match the top middle point. Can you get a good view of that, Sue?
I think so.
Okay. So that's what we have. And now we're going to flip the model over and we're going to untuck that corner. And there are different ways you can go about making the next fold, but I find this the easiest and the most accurate. So we're going to take this side and this side, and we're going to carefully fold them to match the flap just below. That's one side, and then we're going to unfold it, and then we're going to do the other side. And now we're going to turn it back over, and we're going to take these creases we just made, and we're going to carefully reverse them, like so, and like so. And now you see we're going to have this flap sticking up like that. And we have all the creases now necessary to open this flap up and squash it down. And that makes for us, in this top corner, a little preliminary base. Once that's done, we're going to take the right and left corners, and we're going to fold them to the intersection of the vertical and horizontal lines. So your model looks like this. And now we're going to take that horizontal crease and we're going to reverse it like so. So here's the front and here's the back. So now that you have the back facing up, we're going to take the two corners of the black triangles and we're going to fold this to meet that center vertical crease. So we have this on the back and then we have this on the front. And the next step we're going to do are kite folds, one along this edge and the other like along this edge. And when you do this, you want to be careful and move the little preliminary base off to the side, because the kite fold is going to go right up against the crease and underneath the preliminary base. So it's a lot of layers of paper, and you want to make sure that everything is as tight as you can get it. So now we're going to do the right side. And we're going to move the little preliminary base off to the side and complete the kite fold like so. And then all that's left to do now is to make the base to help the little model stand up. And we do that by taking the bottom corner and folding it along this horizontal line. So now we have two basic figures and an emperor's robe and an empress's robe. So now let's go ahead and make the emperor's figure, meaning by doing his hairstyle. Now, as Marita tells me, that it was not a thing to do in ancient Japan to ever cut your hair. So the males used to take their long hair and collect it up on top and then wrap it in some way together. And the females would let their hair grow and they would braid it behind them. So we're going to do in origami a pretty good representation of that. So here's the emperor and here's the preliminary base, And we're going to do the usual kite folds. Like so. And now we're going to carefully, we're going to open up what we did, and now we're going to open up the top flap, and we're going to reverse those kite folds that we just made. So make sure you have very sharp creases and take your time so that all turns out nice and neat. You don't want to have a lot of white surface showing, although it's kind of inevitable. But so that's what it looks like. We have a little bird base, if you will. Now we're going to fold the top of the bird base down. Okay, that's what it looks like. So now we're going to lift it up. Here's how it looks from the front. Okay? And we don't really want him to have a pointed head. So we're going to take this little point here and we're going to fold it back to just before this little horizontal crease. Can you see that, Sue? So here it is. Here's that little piece folded down. And now we fold the flap up. Okay. And here's what it looks like so far. Now we're going to take the top, we're going to fold it straight over the front to look like this. And you notice we want the center lines, center creases all to match up so it doesn't have a lopsided hairstyle. So we folded it down, and now we're going to leave a little space and we're going to fold the hair back up. So we took that, we folded it up, we folded the little point back, we folded the hair forward, then we fold it up, and now we take the little flaps. So here's what we have, and it's a rather delicate operation, but we're going to take the top of each side flap and we're going to fold them as best we can behind. The purpose of that is to keep the whole model from coming, or at least the hair of it, from becoming unfolded. And there's the Emperor. Now let's make the Empress.
Would you turn that around just so I can see the back again? Okay.
Okay. Let's go ahead and put some clothes on it. So now we're going to take the robe, and you want to open it up so that you can put your finger in or see through it. Because now you're going to take the Emperor and we're going to poke him through the bottom. So he looks like this. The hairstyle's a little lopsided, but that's the idea. Okay. Whoops. What I recommend, if you have problems getting either one to stand up, to unfold the base, fold it the opposite way, give it a sharp crease, and then fold it behind. Okay. And there we go. Now let's do the Empress. You got that, Sue? She's nodding, yes. So here's the Empress. Here's her, the back of her head. We're going to also do the kite folds. So it looks like this, and it doesn't matter too much if there's a little white showing, because we're going to open up the kite folds, and we're going to open this up, and we're going to reverse those once again. So this is really this exact same thing as the Emperor so far. Okay, so that's how it looks from the back. And now we're going to go from the front, and we're going to take this black point from behind. It's just a tiny, tiny piece. And that's her forehead. Now, there's an interesting thing you can do with the Empress that you cannot do with the Emperor. So we're going to make use of that. So we're going to open up the Empress's robe. We're going to take the back of her hair and lift it up. We're going to put her into the robe, and now we're going to take the back flap and hold it down. Okay, and that's her braided hair in the back. I know someone who kind of pinched the sides in and made it look more like braided. You could do that if you like. I like keeping it rather simple. So there we are, the Emperor and the Empress from the front, from the behind, and I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you have a lot of fun folding it. Bye for now.